you have a unique approach to hiring too, and how you find your people. You brought it up on the last one, but just in case they missed it, give us a snippet of that, because I think it's incredible.
Hold up.
Yeah, again, I know I keep saying this, but there's ways you can do this in personal lines agencies too, I'm sure. But, again, it goes back to what I said. My philosophy is for how I hire people, right? Or not hire people, but I don't want to make 10 calls to get one appointment. I want to make one call to get 10. And an easy way to do that is to develop channel partnerships. Personal lines, everybody's focusing on realtors and loan officers and that whole strategy that's, basically being used by tons and tons of people. And so we do the same thing. I look for people that are business to business salespeople. And one thing I didn't talk about last time that's part of this process is I've got a client profile form that I fill out on everybody that's in our book of business. And we put that into our CRM, but I ask them, I want to know who they buy their payroll from, who do they buy their office supplies from, who do they buy their credit card processing, who's their lawyer, who's their accountant. And then I ask them, of these people, who do you think I would have the best synergy with? And they always tell me, and then I ask them to make an introduction. And so my goal in that is, if this person is selling payroll to my client that's a $50 million a year company, there's a really good chance they're selling payroll to other companies that are doing $50 million a year in sales, which means they're my new best friend. I want to be able to refer business to them, because I know that if they're satisfying my client, I can do that without putting my reputation in jeopardy. And I want them to refer business to me. And so we do that. We set that up on a formal relationship where we meet once a month, and every time we meet, it's 2 booked appointments. I take 2 booked appointments to my referral partner, and they bring 2 booked appointments to me. That's not, hey, call this guy. I told him you might call him, and he's halfway expecting it. Maybe he'll answer. No,
Right.
It's we walk into your client and we sit down, and you're in the meeting with me, and we talk shop just like I'm going to do for you. And I look at that relationship over 3 or 4 months, and I see how it's going. If it's going well, I always plant the seed. And I just say, look, you're an awesome salesperson. It just blows my mind that you're sitting here hawking payroll for a living. There's got to be better opportunities for you out there. You can't be making that much money. And within 20, they'll defend their position every time. But then within 24 hours, I always get an email or a phone call that says, hey, man, what are you talking about yesterday? You know something I don't know? You got a deal? And so we meet again, and I take our production reports. And so, I'll look at them, and, we'll use 200 grand over 4 months is reasonable based on the size of accounts we're going after. And I'll show them, look, man, we brought in 200,000 in revenue over the course of the last 4 months since we've been referring business back and forth with each other. If you were on my team, you would have made $80,000 in income for that, because I pay 40% on new business. And I'm just wondering, did you make $80,000 over the last 4 months selling payroll? I mean, they might make $80,000 a year, and then we talk and just say, tell me what you want. Tell me what you need. We'll get you what you need first, and you can go out and earn what you want, but I'm going to give you a platform to do that. And so we identify it, and then we just have a code inside of HubSpot, just like they have in agency management systems. Anytime something gets referred that we close from that person, we slot it to that referral code. And when our revenue between new and renewal business that they've referred gets to their need level and they're willing to make the jump, we make them the offer to come on board, and they walk in the door, and I hand them the book of business that they referred. Now, agents by and large are cheap. So I usually get the question of, well, why would you give it to them? Well, because they gave it to me. I babysat that revenue long enough for them to come on board. There's no risk to them because they have a revenue stream built already. There's no risk to me because they have a revenue stream built already. And I'm not worried about retention because these are their clients. They're walking into a book of business of people that they've already represented, right? So why in the world do I have to worry about that? And so I have a pipeline of producers that's anywhere between really 12 and 18-month process from the time we start that conversation to the time that we bring them into the front door and indoctrinate them. And I always have an idea of who I'm hiring, where they're coming from. And the beauty of it is twofold. Number one, If I get to the 4-month mark and I don't like them and I don't think they're going to fit the culture, I don't ever have to plant the seed. They never know. They never know I was interviewing them for 3 or 4 months.
Right.
If they last and they're going to come on board and it takes them a year to get to where they need to be, over that year, they've been on 4 appointments a month with me, the 2 they booked and the 2 I booked. At 48 appointments with a prospect that's not even your employee yet, I can see how they interface with their client, how they display their value proposition, how they open, how they close, and then they have the same reciprocity on my side of the table. So that when they walk in the front door, there's no questions or feeling out period. It's just a matter of getting them into our sales process and helping them understand what needs to happen on the insurance side of things. And it works very, very well.
Both sides completely bought in.
Absolutely. And you know what? If they don't hit the number, I don't ever have to make the offer, right? I don't have to plant the seed, but if I plant the seed and they don't hit the production number, I can just say, look, I don't think this is going to work. You're not hitting the numbers you need because I don't want you to come on board and not be able to validate what you need a year from now because you're slow in bringing business in. Either ramp it up or let's just keep this as a referral relationship. And if things heat up, we can talk again in the future.
Hold up.